latest?
I'm not perfect. I'm never going to be. And that's the great thing about living the Christian life and trying to live by faith is you're trying to get better every day.
Faith-based quarterback Tim Tebow heading for the very sinful Big Apple. Will the New York City press rip him up? Some say yes. And superstar singer Katy Perry allying herself with the U.S. Marine Corps. What? We'll tell you what's going on. Caution. You are about to enter the no spin zone. Factor begins right now. Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. President Obama getting involved with the shooting death of a teenage boy in Florida. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo, as you may know. 17-year-old Trayvon Martin, high school senior in Sanford, Florida, shot dead a few weeks ago by 28-year-old George Zimmerman, who was acting as a neighborhood watch guy. Zimmerman says he shot the teenager because he felt the young man was a danger to him. There's a law in Florida that allows folks to use deadly force if they feel threatened. So Zimmerman has not been charged with any crime and continues to carry the weapon that killed Trayvon. Today, President Obama said this.
This is a tragedy. I can only imagine what these parents are going through. And when I think about this boy, I think about my own kids. And I think every parent in America should be able to understand why it is absolutely imperative that we investigate every aspect of this.
Now, it is wrong to convict any American on television, but that's what's happening on some other news stations. We are not going to do that here. But I am going to play you a 911 call made by Zimmerman that may contain a racial slur. It's hard to determine. Roll the tape.
He's running.
He's running? Which way is he running?
Down towards the other entrance of the neighborhood.
Okay. Which entrance is that he's heading towards?
The back entrance.
Are you following him?
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need you to do that.
Okay.
Now, President Obama's verbal involvement in the case is appropriate. We simply cannot have American citizens gunned down in the street without resolution. Last night, the state of Florida appointed a special prosecutor, and the Justice Department is looking into any civil rights angle there may be. Again, Talking Points is not going to come to any conclusion. That is simply not fair. But I will say this. Every decent American should want justice in this case. And that's the memo. Now for the top story tonight, another racial controversy. Congressman Luis Gutierrez from Illinois responding to the taunting of a Kansas State basketball player named Angel Rodriguez. During a game, some people in the crowd were hazing Rodriguez by chanting, "Where's your green card?" The congressman reacted.
The issue is why people think it's okay to treat Latinos as if they were second-rate Americans. Why so many people seem to think that being Latino means being a suspect in our own country. Why they look at a young man named Rodriguez and think he doesn't belong in this country.
All right, we'll get to the Mitt Romney angle in a moment. Mr. Gutierrez is not available this evening, but he's usually cooperative with the factor. We don't think he's running away. However, the remark is of concern. Joining us now from Denver, Fox News contributor Linda Chavez. And from Washington, Chuck Rocha, an executive board member of the Congressional Hispanic Caucus Institute. Now, some say Congressman Gutierrez is overreacting, Mr. Rocha. What say you?
I say that he's actually not. There's been a national dialogue that's been troubling lots of Latinos for a long time. If you listen to what the presidential candidates are saying on the stump, if you look at the Arizona law, and even within the own Fox poll, only 14% of Latinos are supporting the Republican candidate, and it's because of the things that the citizens who actually are voting that are Latino like myself are hearing coming out of the mouth as a national dialogue.
Okay, well,
it seems like they're singling out
I want to
Latinos.
get very specific here. You've been to basketball games, football games, baseball games with this hazing going on, right?
Played football my whole life.
Okay,
absolutely.
All right. Okay, so you know that whatever the complexion of the player is, and Jackie Robinson on in, you're going to have varying degrees of immaturity, sometimes viciousness, directed at the opposing team. So where's your green card? People thought that was cute and funny. I don't see that as a reflection of anti-Hispanic bias in the United States. I see that as a stupid, immature, sporting arena taunt. That's all.
Look, I played football for 9 years in the deep South in East Texas. I've never heard anything like this.
Really?
I'm just gonna
Really?
say,
Where's your green card? I mean, come on.
absolutely not. No, you
like
took
that?
on your opponents one-on-one. You didn't talk about their ethnicity. You talked about maybe that they were weak, but you didn't talk about where their mama
Well,
come
I'll
from.
tell you got to go play ball up here in New York because
I'd love to play ball in New York.
Yeah, well,
Absolutely.
you hear a lot more than you heard down in East Texas because this stuff is
Alrighty.
common up here, and it's not a reflection of a wider prejudice, I don't believe. Linda, what say you?
Well, I think that's absolutely right. First of all, these kinds of nasty ethnic slurs, they are a fabric of, history. I mean, the Irish were always blamed for being drunken, Germans for being too sort of aggressive and disciplinarians. I mean, we do have ethnic stereotypes. Was it nasty for these kids to do this? Absolutely. Inappropriate? Absolutely. But as I understand it, they've apologized. We had a player named Vasquez who actually probably did have a green card because he was born in Venezuela, that played at the University of Maryland. He went on to the pros, a great player. He was taunted occasionally when he went various places.
It's a terrible thing to do, but I don't think an apology sets it straight. I mean, if I were the Rodriguez, I would say, well, you can apologize. What kind of a person are you for even doing that? I'm not diminishing the comment. I don't think it's just a wider deal. All right, now it was tied in by Congressman Gutierrez to Mitt Romney. Let's roll the tape on that.
Mitt Romney has said that the Arizona anti-immigrant law, a law that essentially demands racial profiling of anyone who looks like they might be undocumented, is a model for our nation. But that's not all Mitt Romney has said to American Latinos. He has said that all 11 million immigrants, most of them Latinos, should self-deport, even if they've lived here since they were children and have American citizen children families.
All right, Mr. Rocha, now, I don't want to debate the Arizona law. We've done that 1,000 times, and you either support it or you don't, and it's either going to be constitutional or it isn't. We'll let the system play out on that. But here's what troubles me on this. Mitt Romney, Congressman Gutierrez is absolutely correct. He wants anybody who's in the country illegally, all right, to go back to their home country by themselves, not rounded up, but go back, register there, and get on the line to come here. That's what he wants. Now, you may disagree, Linda may disagree, but I don't think that's anti-Hispanic. I just think that's his policy, and that's what he thinks is fair. And you say?
I say that if you're sitting on your couch and you're a registered voter and you're Latino, when you hear about the immigration debate that's happened in the Republican primaries, where you hear about sending grandma home, self-deportation of 11 million people, look, it may not be absolute racism, but it seems like a little bit discriminatory towards our race. I'm not going to debate the Arizona law with you either, but when you single out people...
Why would it be discriminatory, though, for Mitt Romney to say the solution to the problem is to have people go back, register, and get online? Why is that discriminatory?
I think because people realize that 11 million people are not going to run back to their home nation to register, that we need to figure out a path for citizenship here.
But
so
why,
they can become...
what's wrong with calling for it? Maybe they won't do it, but it seems to be calling for it and having a fair process. I don't understand. I just don't
think the way I look at it is that we realize that it's not just the Latinos who are immigrating here, but from sitting on your couch at home, that's who they're talking about. And they're only talking about Mexicans. Exactly right.
But that's who snuck in. That's who snuck in.
Absolutely not.
Norwegians aren't sneaking in, Mr. Rocha. All right, that's who they're talking about, the people
half
snuck
of
in.
Half of the immigrants that are here in the U.S. are on expired visas from work visas and student visas.
They got to go back, too.
They didn't sneak in here to get visas.
Mr. Rocha is correct. Mr. Rocha is correct in saying that the Republican nominee, if it's Mitt Romney, is going to have a road to climb here with Hispanic American voters, and the Republican Party needs them.
Absolutely. The Republican Party cannot win in November if they lose states like Colorado and Florida and Nevada and other states with their largest Hispanic populations that do in fact vote. They're citizens and they vote. But I think what Mr. Rocha is missing is that this was a blatantly political remark on the part of Luis Gutierrez. He is worried that President Obama is losing the Latino vote because he made lots of promises about fixing legal immigration and making it possible for people to come here legally, and he's done nothing. And in fact, he has deported more illegal immigrants than any president in our history. And so Obama is the one that's got some problems, and I think that's why Luis Gutierrez is pumping this issue.
All right, good debate. Thank you very much for helping us.
Thank you very much.
Next on the rundown, more racial tension.